gentlemen, to our sale by public auction of number 76 Murray Street, Clapham. Here in the heart of Clapham, what a beautiful spot to conduct an auction. What a fabulous property we're offering here today. So many possibilities. And if you've walked up and down Murray Street, you'll see there's lots of money being spent, time and money being spent by the owners doing homes up or replacing them. There's been a lot of renewal happen as well. So this area is up and coming. It's a fabulous spot to buy into. A lovely piece of land, nice and wide at 17.98, nominally 18 metres across the frontage there. Plenty of depth there as well, so the home has got plenty of possibilities in terms of refurbishment, extension. We're close to everything. Shopping, Mitcham shopping a short distance away, just a short drive, and of course what an excellent shopping precinct that is. We've got the big W just down here, a short drive, not far to Marion, not far to Flinders Medical Centre, and of course, as you'd be aware, real estate in this town of ours is valued and judged on its proximity to the city centre, and of course we're about 17 or 18 minutes away from the city centre here, and if you're going in the morning there in that the peak hour, you might add about 7 or 8 minutes. So a fantastic position here, a terrific offering for your bidding, a home that's been obviously well kept, a really good example of the era. So I suggest in the most emphatic terms that the recipe is certainly a good one here today. Now, having said that, by way of introduction, Bruce Farrow is my name. On my left is Garry Emeny. Together we represent Smaller Combe Real Estate Proprietary Limited, licensed agents and auctioneers, and proud members of the Real Estate Institute of South Australia. Now, as with the sale of all real property in this state, the sale will be conducted subject to the standard Real Estate Institute conditions of sale. And they've been available together with Section 7 statements, other relevant documentation pertaining to the sale at our business premises for the previous 3 clear business days and for 30 minutes prior to us getting underway here today. Not my intention to read you all of those conditions, just a few which I'll make mention of, which I think are particularly relevant to those of you considering putting up your number here today. As you'd expect, the property will be sold subject to a set reserve price. And might I suggest that we've set the reserve price with the idea of selling the property under the hammer here today, so buyers certainly you can bid with absolute confidence. Now, the successful purchaser, who would be the highest bidder, meeting or exceeding the set reserve price, will be required to step forward to sign an unconditional contract note of sale and to pay a 10% deposit of the full purchase price. Now, we have made some arrangements with some particular purchasers regarding the deposit, and they'll certainly be honoured here this afternoon. Now, anyone who bids here today, and when that bid is accepted by the auctioneer, that bid is binding on the purchaser. I'd also implore the purchaser, the successful purchaser, to insure the property immediately following the auction, for the property will be at the purchaser's risk, as at the fall of the hammer. Now, are there any questions relating to the conditions I've just outlined? Fully aware, happy with the conditions. It's incumbent on me to read to you the legal description of the property. I'll take the time to do that. All that piece and parcel of improved land situated 105 in Deposit Plan 3754 within the area named Clapham, 100 of Adelaide, and as described in Certificate of Title Volume 5730, Folio 843, and known as Municipal Number 76 Murray Street, Clapham 5062. Now, the settlement date has been set at the 20th of July 2015. Once again, we have made some arrangements for a slight extension on that for a few of you, and that'll certainly be honoured here as well this afternoon. Now, the inclusions are all the fixed floor coverings or light fittings or window treatments that are not excluded, and I'll go into that a little bit later. Exclusions are the vendor's personal effects, loose floor coverings, I'm not sure there are any, or furniture, and most importantly, the curtains in the kitchen, laundry and master bedroom are excluded from the sale. There aren't any known encroachments and fences on the boundaries. Alterations or improvements erected without consents or works to be carried out by the vendor prior to settlement. Obviously no tenancies at this stage or matters affecting the title in any way. So a lovely clear offering, a first-class piece of residential real estate here, supported so much by the land value, as most of you would be aware. When you're buying a piece of turf, they're not making any more of them, certainly not of this dimension in areas such as this, and so much supported by that land value. The home itself, lots of options here. Well, you can refurbish and extend. You can knock the home down and start again. That's certainly an option here, and that's happened further along Murray Street and in other areas, streets just around the area. Live in it and extend at a later stage, so you've got that option there, or you could buy it as an investment, and certainly it's been well cared for and maintained, and you could let it out as it is and enjoy the rental income. There are probably options that you have already thought of over and above that. There's plenty here. We love to sell property where you have got those sorts of options. They always make for an excellent investments for purchasers. A great location, great property. The recipe, as I said, is a good one. So it's over to you now, buyers. I'll just pause briefly before we get underway. Are there any any questions relating to the property, our method of offering the property to you, the legal description at all? Any questions before we get underway? It's over to you now. You tell me what the property is worth. Any reasonable figure to start me away. You know what we quoted. Just yell out a reasonable figure. Let's get going. It's your auction, not ours. It's yours. You make the day. $390,000. 390, your number is number 4. At $390,000, I'll take that, and I'll take your $10,000 rise at that. At $390 in a bid. At $390, 10 to be in it. At $390,000. At $390 here, clearly bid and offered. No money at that, I would have thought. At $390,000. At $390,000 here. 10 to be in it. At $390,000 in a bid. At $390,000. At $390. 400 I've got. At 400, number 16. At $400,000 against you, madam, at 400,000. 10 to be in it. At 400,000 in a bid. At 400,000, clearly bid and offered right in front here, number 16 at 400,000. At 400,000 and 10 to be in it, 410. At 410, number 4. At 410 the bid. At 410 I have. At $410,000 against you now, sir. At number 11, 420. At 420,000. At 420,000 against both of you now in front at 420. At 420, 10 to be in it. At 420 in the bid. At $420,000. Number 1 over here at 430. At 430. New blood at 430 against the rest. At 430 in a bid. 10 to be in. At $430,000. At $430,000. Clearly bid and offered here at 430. At 440. At 440. At 440 against you now, sir. At 440, number 4. At $440,000. At $440,000, more like it. At 440. At $440,000. At 440. 450. 450 I've got, number 16 at 450. At 450,000 right in front. At 450 in the bid. At $450,000. At 450. Are we all done? 10 to be in it. At 400. New blood, number 7 at 460. At 460. At 460 I've got. And 10 to be in at 460. At $460,000. At $460,000. For the first time. I'm only going to call it 3 times at 400. Stick to the tens of them this one. At $460,000. At $460,000 for the second time. Number 8, right here at 470. At $470,000. At $470,000, 10 to be in it. At $470,000 I've got. At $470,000. At $470,000. Call it 3 times then at 470. At $470,000. Beautiful piece of land. 480. 480 I've got. At 480. Clearly bid and offered here at 480. At 480.
What did you have? I call 470.
Sorry, okay, 470 we've got. 470. Now we're just number 16 there.
Yeah.
You can accept 480, sir. We've had 470.
The previous use was 470.
Oh.
10 to be in it. Had 470.
Yeah.
Somebody else, did you want? Are you bidding another 10,000, sir? fine. The misunderstanding there at $470,000 we've got. At number 8 at 470. At $470,000. 475. I'll take the fives now, 475 in the bid, and 5 to be in it to everybody. Be fair to everyone there at 475, and 5 to be in it. At 475,000, 480 I've got, at 480, at $480,000, at $480,000 there, at 480, 5 to be in it. At 480 in the bid, at 485, at 485,000, at $485,000, at 485,000, clearly bidding off here at 485, at 485,000 in the bid. At 485,000. Call it then at 485,000. Going once. 490. At 490. Number 8. At 490. At 490 I've got. At 490 in the bid. At $490,000. At $490,000 I've got. At 490 in the bid. At 490, 495. At 495. At 495 I've got. 5 to be in it. At 495. At $495,000. I've got 500 out there at $495,000. 500 I've got. 500 even money at 500. At $500,000. At 500 here. At 500 in the bid. 5 to be in it. 500. 5 to be in. Giving you plenty of time. Fair to everybody. 505. At 505. At 505. At 505 I've got. At 505. At $505,000. Beautiful lifetime investment here at $505,000. Are we all done? 510. 510. At 510 the bid. At 510. At 510,000. 5 to be in it. All out. At 510. 15. 515. At 515,000. At $515,000. Giving you plenty of time. $515,000. I'll take you 2.5. 517.5 I've got. 2.5 for the rest of you. Couldn't be fairer. At 517.5 I've got. At $517,500. 520. 520. 520. 2.5 per unit. 520. $520,000. Once. 522.5. 522.5 I've got. $522,500. 525. 525. 525 I've got. $525,000. $525,000. I'll take it. 526. 26 I've got. $526,000. 27. 27. 527,000. 1 to be in it. Only 1 to be in it at $527,000. 28. 28 I have. 528. 29. 29. 29. 529. Rare offering, block of this width, beautiful spot, close to everything. 529, 1 to be in it, 530. 530 I've got. $530,000. $530,000, 31. 531. $531,000. 1 to be in. At $531,000. $531,000. 1 to be in it. Giving you plenty of time. $531,000. 2. 532. 532. 3. Right back. 533. $533,000. 533. 4, 534 I've got. 534,000. 5. 535. 535,000. 535. 6. 536. 536,000. Going once. 7. 537. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll just pause there briefly. I'll give you time to think. I'll have a chat with my vendor and return in just a moment.